So on Rise of Kingdoms in 2026, being an objective-based player is hard. You don't get nowhere near enough recognition or rewards for your efforts compared to a KP player, KP chaser. There is no real benefit to it anymore, and I think this should change. Without me giving a like to it, I would be able to change it. Hopefully with this video, it might give some change to certain kingdoms and things like that, and give some more light to the situation. First off, I'd like to say this is my opinions, so please play the game how you want to play it. This is no way me telling you to play it not as an objective way. This is just saying how I felt being an objective player for 2 years now, 2.5 years. Just play how you find this. For context, I'm talking about the players that push into objectives, hold objectives, and obviously stay near flags, defend rallies that are on flags, do not care about trades, push into the middle of their ball to push an objective quickly to get last burn, things like that. They're the players I'm talking to, and they are the backbone of a kingdom, whether they win or lose. These are the players that ultimately dictate if you do have a successful kingdom. So there is an increasingly higher focus on KP and demand on how much KP an account can put out, instead of deads and if you focus objectives, which is wrong. I'm fortunate enough to be in a kingdom that recognises me for my efforts in being an objective player, but there are many kingdoms out there that don't. And now I'm going to talk to you about an example of why objective play matters if you win. The KVK I will be talking about is 2489 versus 1093, arguably the biggest KVK in recent history in the game. 2489 had arguably the most spenders in the game at the time during this KVK, and the King's Land lasted 8 days. But why did they lose? Is because they had so many pilots on their account that were only focusing KP. They did not care for winning. They wanted to last as long as possible to get paid as much as possible. And if they just locked in, they could have got the win, should we say. There was multiple times in that where they were just running around getting KP, not worrying about objectives. And that is where I say objective play matters to win KVK, because they didn't have the backbone of objective play to win that KVK. And that is ultimately why they failed as a obviously kingdom now. They are downsizing. They failed at the big KVK because they couldn't focus objectives. I think the increase in requirements to join certain kingdoms has also contributed to this downfall of objective play. Most kingdoms now have a minimum KP requirement, which promotes KP chasing and piloting for KP. I think that's the main attribute towards this problem. Say for instance the kingdoms put 2 to 3 billion KP as a minimum requirement. Objective play won't be able to achieve that, so you have to KP chase. So now I'm going to talk to you about rewards and recognition, was at the start of the video, about there is enough of it for objective-based players. At the end of a KVK, rewards are usually distributed through stats and DKP, unless your kingdom does something different, which no other kingdom does. Sometimes, I don't know. But that is the main way. And usually, objective-based players have less stats and DKP than those of KP players. They might have the same deads, but they might have more deads, but they won't have as much KP. Way less than KP, because objective-based players stay around flags, where KP players, they run away. and fight the marches and try and just go between the cities. And that is what I mean by you won't get as many rewards. But nowhere near enough, because you won't get rewarded for that staying near the flag unless leadership see you. But most of the time you are overlooked, unfortunately, for stats wise. So now I'm going to talk to you about opportunities in terms of migration. You will get less of them in terms of what kingdoms you can get to because you have less stats than an objective-based player. KP players usually have more opportunities because they have higher stats. Say for instance, my Autarch, I trade awful. So they might look at that as a bad thing or a good thing, I don't know. That's for the players to work out. But I judge it by I fight like crazy and I am an objective-based player. I have less KP overall, but I fight to win, I don't fight to trade. I've changed my mood a little bit since then, since I first started playing the game now. So I do focus a little bit more on trading, because that is what the game landscape has changed me into now. And that is really the harsh reality of it. And why what has caused it. Mainly it's just requirements from kingdoms putting up KP, and the spotlight being on mainly KP, like players that put up so much KP that it's record breaking. That's the kind of thing that gets my spotlight, so players in turn will want more people with more KP. Things like that. It's just basically KP has become the main driver for the game. That is what has really caused this kind of divide between objective-based play and KP play. If you're going to ask yourself now, do you be a KP player or an objective-based player? I say do what you want. Do what makes you have the most fun in the game. But I say to you, if you're an objective-based player, there will be times later in the game, say for instance when you get to Season of Conquest. If you're already in Season of Conquest, you already know what I'm talking about in this video, but once you're in Season of Conquest, you will be feeling like you are behind against KP players. They will feel like they're getting the more rewards, the more recognition, the more opportunities to join the bigger kingdoms. That's what you will feel. So choose what you want, how you want to play. I have changed my ways. Obviously, I said earlier, I'm now focusing a little bit more on trades than I am objective-based play. I will still be laying objectives, but I'm not going to dive my marches into bulls like I did before. I hope you found this video informative and it relates to yourself in some kind of way. I did work quite hard on trying to express my emotions here, because I didn't really write a script for this one. I kind of just went out of my mind for this one. So thank you all for watching, and give it a like if you did enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one.